Welcome to my Asshole Podcast. Let's get into it. Welcome. It is Haunting Adeline Day today, and boy, are we excited to get into this episode. Man, we have chapters 35 and 36 on deck. We are we're 75% done with this book. My goodness, we're flying through it. The year is flying by. This episode will come out in March. My goodness, already 3 months into the new year. Woo! Hopefully you guys are having a good year so far. I know your boy is. All thanks to you lovely people, man. It's been great. It's been great, you know. But without further ado, you know we have our thread. We're going to get into our thread, and then we're going to get into our lovely Haunting Adeline episode. So let's do it. All right. This thread is, when did you know your relationship was over? Ooh. All right. A pillow fight. We had been drifting apart for a while. Long distance relationship. He stopped communicating and I started getting desperate for attention. He stopped saying I love you and would get angry at me when I said it. We met up one weekend at my house. It was tense. He was only talking in one-word answers, thinking I could ease the tension and get us on the road to talking. I tossed a pillow at him and challenged him to a pillow fight. We'd had a pillow fight early on in our relationship, and it had been so effortlessly fun. This time he let the pillow fall and looked at me as if I was crazy. Officially, he dumped me about a week after on my birthday by text. No! He dumped you on your birthday by text? But then I knew it was over. I just didn't want it to be the one to end it. Bro, on your birthday. Now, see, it was a long distance relationship, so it most likely was a thing where my man, he found somebody else. Like, yeah, let's be Hundo P here. He found somebody else. He didn't want to tell you, you know. Damn. Oh, that's fucked up, bruh. On your birthday. All right, when did you know your relationship was over? I started fantasizing about being single. Yeah, see, man, it don't matter if it's guy or girl, bro. Once you start fantasizing about being single, that is a slippery slope. Oh my God, that's a slippery slope, man. You out here playing with fire. Oh, because and all it takes is like a couple friends being single, and you're just like, man, they get to do whatever they want to do. I used to be in that situation, but then I would always think to myself, nah, fuck that shit. Because if I'm being straight with you, like, being single ain't all that fun. Like, I don't know. It's a thing where, like, if you're really striving for something and you're going for something. Like me, I have the podcast, so I'm always like working on the podcast and doing that. Want to make it bigger and better and more fun for you guys and all that kind of stuff. So for me, yeah, being single's all right because I have a purpose to kind of, I don't know, put my time into. But if you're that type of person where you just don't really have that, you know, it's rough. it would be rough. So. I guess, but damn, sometimes it's not worth it though. If I'm being honest with you, it ain't worth it. Like I would much rather have the podcast and a significant other, but what it is, man. When did you know your relationship was over? It was when her smile went from genuine to forced. Too bad I didn't realize until it was too late. Damn. And for me, I would feel so bad. Making a girl feel like they're forced to smile, dude. Oh, that would kill me. Oh, where she's like pretending to be happy and it's like she's not really fucking happy. Damn. Woo. Oh, that sucks. All right. When did you know your relationship was over? She made a list of 43 things that were wrong with me, including wearing white socks with black shoes. Wait, what? What? Oh, that's crazy. She was just like, you wear white socks with black shoes. The fuck's wrong with you, man? This is why we're not together anymore, Keith. That makes no sense, bro. I mean, don't get me wrong. A list is crazy, but at the same time, it's like, at least she told you why, you must have just been ick city, bro, if I'm being honest with you. Man. When did you know your relationship was over? I knew his mother didn't approve of our relationship, but she kept it civil in front of me, but would conveniently fall sick whenever he had plans with me. After a year of passivity, okay, I would say passiveness, but sure, she started setting him up with her friends' daughters or girls his relatives recommended. Initially, he'd brush her off, but then he agreed to start meeting the girls just to get her to shut up, then come back to tell me about his coffee meetups. Even though I knew he would be loyal, I just couldn't take this level of interference in our relationship and broke it off. Damn, I mean, that makes sense, though. Why would you want to hear about your partner going on dates with somebody every other week? Imagine that, though. That would suck. That shit would absolutely fucking kill me. Hearing my partner being like, oh, yeah, my mom set me up with this dude again. He was great and this and that, but blah, 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 blah. It's like, that to me, I couldn't do it. I could not do that. That would hurt me like crazy. Eventually, I would get to a breaking point of like, all right, bro, it's either you stop going on these dates or we're done. I get you want to appease to your parents and all that kind of stuff, but I can't take it no more. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. And then it sucks because that's also a slippery slope too. Shit could happen. Oh boy could meet a girl and be like, yo, this is the love of my life. You know what I mean? Like, dude, like the new could set in and he could literally be like, yo, this girl's love of my life. Oh, and you're cooked. You're done. Like, no. All right. When did you know your relationship was over? When I walked in on her with someone else's dick in her mouth. Damn.
She belongs to the streets.
That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. No. Yeah, that's definitely how you know it's over. Honestly, I'm so glad I've never seen that happen. I never walked in on a girl, just my girl getting smashed up or anything like that. Like, thank God I've never experienced that. For the dudes who have experienced that, bro, oh my God. Because for me, I'd walk out. I'd have to go to like a coffee shop or something. I'd have to go somewhere. I'd have to go somewhere very, very public. If I'm being honest with you. Very, very public. Because I don't know what I would do if I was like alone by myself. I'd have to go somewhere very, very public where somebody could like stop me from doing something crazy. And I would fucking cry. Oh, dude. Damn. All right. When did you know your relationship was over? I dropped her off back at campus knowing I wouldn't see her for another week and was relieved as soon as I put my car in drive. Dang. So the moment he would drop her off, he would just be like, oh, thank God. Damn. Oh, dude. Yeah, that's how you know it's over. When you're not around them or your happy times and your happy moments, you're like, yes, thank God she's gone. Like, yeah, most definitely. Because I'm the type of person where I like to spend time with my significant other without spending time with them. And a lot of people always like find that to be so weird. And they're like, what do you mean by that? And I'm just like, no, I like to be, on my computer gaming, or I like to be just kind of doing my thing. But my girl is sitting next to me and she's doing her thing, whether she's on her phone, reading a book, whatever. I like that. That's why I've always wanted to do like his and hers setups. I want to do that so fucking bad. I really do, because I would love that shit where I'm my setup, my command center, and I'm just doing my thing. And then I look over and my girl is there at her command center doing her thing, whether she's playing Minecraft or Hello Kitty Island Adventure, or, she's streaming herself, or she's, on Pinterest. I don't fucking know. Just, she's doing her thing while I'm doing my thing. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm telling you, dude. I'm telling you. Oh, I want that so bad. That'd be my shit. But yeah, the moment you get to a point where you're like, thank God I'm not around her anymore. Yeah, that's when you know it's over, bro. All right. When did you know your relationship was over? When he proposed, or he surprised me by proposing to someone else. That's crazy. That's crazy. Wow. How do you surprise your girlfriend with proposing to someone else? Yo, my man is a menace. That man is an absolute menace, bro. There ain't no way. There ain't no fucking way, bro. Oh, damn, that's fucked up. I wonder how he did that. Like, how the hell would you surprise your girlfriend by proposing to your girlfriend? You know what I mean? Like, bro, what? How do you surprise your girlfriend by proposing to your girlfriend? That's crazy. Oh, and then apparently, someone had commented, are they married now? And the person that wrote it was like, nope, they didn't even last 6 months. Like, yo, karma, baby. Hey, karma. We talk about it all the time on this show, baby. Hey, karma is a bitch. She is a fickle bitch. She will get you, man. Do right. That's crazy. It didn't even last 6 months. That's crazy. All right. When did you know your relationship was over? I would be relieved when he went to work. Dread him coming in, annoyed by his whole existence. Damn. Because for me, I'm like putting myself in his shoes. And it's like, imagine your girl, the love of your life, the woman you adore, can't stand you. You're just your existence. It's not even like certain things you do. It's just your existence. Oh my God, no. I'd cry. I would fucking cry. Like, bro, just to know, like, the love of my life thinks that of me, you know? Oh, woo, dog. Man, that's crazy. That's crazy. All right, when did you know your relationship was over? When after he came clean with everything he did behind my back for 7 years together. Wow. I asked if I could step outside of the relationship and if he would be okay with it and stick through it like he thought I should. He said no, nail in the coffin. You can't expect someone to get over infidelity if you yourself would never give them the same devotion/grace. I would have never done it, but it was good to know he held standards for me he didn't have for himself. Yeah, bro. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I'm not even going to go into the whole, cheating is different between men and women conversation. I'm not even going to go into that. My thing is it's the thing where it's like, look, man, if I've always said it, if your partner cheats, it's one of those things where are they worth it? I guarantee you to her, he just wasn't a person that was worth a second chance to. I always say it. I always say, like, if your person is worth that second chance, then okay, you know what I mean? See where things go, see what happens, whatever the case may be. But if they're not, then they're just not. Yeah, they're not. They're just not. It just is what it is at that point. It just is what it is. And so I guarantee you he just wasn't worth it. And she knew that. She was just like, it's not worth it. This guy is not worth it. He's not worth a second chance. Like, fuck that shit. For her to even say some shit like that already shows me that, yeah, this nigga wasn't worth it. She already had it in her head ready to go. Like, yeah, I'm dumping this nigga. So, hey, man, it is what it is. It is what it is. When did you know your relationship was over? Sitting in her car in silence while she was texting the guy she was cheating on me with. Yo. Whoa. Oh. 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 Wow. See, man, my thing is, I don't know. Look, I've been in a good amount of relationships in my days, man, and I've never had a girl like blatantly disrespect me like that to my face. Like, you know, girls that I'm not dating but like talking to or whatever, sure, yeah, I've had that, you know what I mean? I had them do some crazy shit in front of me like that, but you know, for me, I kind of look at it like, cool, not gonna talk to you anymore. You know, and we just won't date, you know what I mean? But like, if we're dating, we're together, you're my girlfriend, like, bruh, and you're doing that shit to my face, whoo, that's tough. Like, how does it get to that point? Like, how does a relationship get to that point? You know, man, that's tough. All right, when did you know your relationship was over? When I lied to her, telling her a close friend of mine died and I needed time and space to figure shit out. Nobody died. I just needed space in the relationship and didn't know how to ask for it or communicate that properly. I was 21 with the mind of a teenager. A friend of mine talked some sense into me and told me if I'm lying and hiding from my own girlfriend, I'm a piece of shit and need to break up with her at least. They were right, and I did. I hate myself over how I handled all of that. Biggest regret of my life, she was a sweetheart and I was a fucking disaster. Yeah, sometimes, man, you meet the right person at the wrong time. That shit to me is the worst. I've had so many situations where that's happened to me, man. Oh, God, so many situations where, like, I've met the right girl at the wrong time. And you sit there and you think about it and you're like, fuck, if I could go back in time, you know, because a lot of times you're just like, it ain't that serious. You know, like the shit you were going through during that time that made it the wrong time for you. A lot of times you're like, fuck, man, that shit wasn't that serious. You know what I mean? Because there was a girl I was dating out of high school. And I mean, amazing girl. She was wonderful. And I fucked it up. Because I had my own dumb shit going on. You know what I mean? And it was a thing where, like, I was 18, 19. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I didn't have a career path. I didn't know where I was going. All this and all that. You know, I was so in my head about just so much shit that, if I'm being honest with you, if I would have just, like, hey, man, it's not a big deal. You'll figure it out. Instead, what I would do is kind of have that frustration in life and I would take it out on her, you know, and it was just like, it was so stupid. And when you think back to it, you're like, bro, you could have dealt with this. You could have figured it out. You know, it wasn't that bad. It was some dumb shit that you were just in over, you know, because when you're a teenager, especially when you're like 18, 19, 20, and arguably 21, in those years, you're really trying to find out what you want to do in the next stage of your life. Obviously, school is over. I mean, you could choose to go back to school, but even then, you still have the inevitability of like, hey, school's going to end. I need to figure out what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life kind of thing. And it's one of those things that once you get older, you realize that, hey, guess what? You never stop trying to figure out what you're going to do for the rest of your life. So you might as well just kind of lean into some opportunities. Like even now I'm 30 years old and I'm still like, hey, what am I going to do with the rest of my life? You know, but I'm not freaking out about it just because the simple thing of like, hey, you know, I have a stable job now. I'm getting into this YouTube thing. And, you know, it's like, I don't even know where I'm going to be even in the next 2-3 years, just because new opportunities will show up, new doors will open up. And it's like when you're 19 and 20, you're just like, oh my God, I don't know what's going on, you know? And for me, it sucked because I gave up on like a really great girl who would have supported me through all of that bullshit if I would have just had the mindset of like, hey, you know, you're never going to stop figuring out what you want to do for the rest of your life. You're good. You're chilling. You know what I mean? Calm the fuck down. You know what I mean? And it's one of those things where I'm like him. I regret it all the time. I'm like, dude, she was fucking amazing. Now she hates my guts, but you know, it is what it is. But it's just, oh, I hate those moments so much, man. When it's the right person in the wrong time, it's just like, fuck. Because you think back and you're like, dude, it was stupid. It was fucking stupid. But yeah. All right, on to our next one. Hold on. When did you know your relationship was over? Long before it ended, sadly, but I was too afraid to listen to my gut and stand up for myself and what I deserved. It was a complete imbalance in terms of our willingness to meet each other's needs and be a team. I finally started trusting my intuition and loved myself enough to let it go. 6 months out, and I feel peace like I've never felt before. Hey, man. Sometimes you need to be alone to figure yourself out. You know what I mean? Sometimes you need to be alone to figure yourself out. It sucks. It's one of those things that you wish you could do in a relationship. You know, you're like, fuck, man. Why can't I find myself in a relationship? Why can't I? You know what I mean? Like and I get why you technically can't, just because it's a thing where when you're in a relationship, you're so focused on your partner. You know, you're so focused on like the relationship, you're focused on your partner, you're focused on the future, you're focused on like, especially as a guy, you know, how am I going to push our relationship forward, whether it's, you know, moving into a new home or like making more money or just, you know, doing more things with her or for her, whatever the case may be. So I get why, you know, you can't, but it's a thing where I'm like, fuck, man, I wish you could, because obviously, for me, in my experience, you know, when me and my ex-fiance, I'm a vastly different person from when I was with her to now where I'm, you know, single, because now I'm doing a lot more things that I really didn't think that I would like doing. And the podcast is definitely one of them, you know, and then even like getting into photography, that was something I never wanted to really do. It was something I was interested in, sure, but I don't know. I just never really would lean into it, obviously, because these things cost money. So I looked at it like, I rather better use that money for her and I, you know, so we can live comfortably and we can do things together, you know what I mean? But obviously when you're single, it's like, hey, I have this money to kind of get into things and do things and stuff like that. So it's like money plays into a big factor as well, I guess. But it's one of those things where I hate that so much. I'm like, man, I wish you could like find yourself, if you will, in a relationship, because it's like, dude, I guess you can't have your cake and eat it too. I do understand that, but goddamn, man, I know we all wish we could have our cake and eat it too. Goddamn it, you know. But it is what it is. All right, I'm gonna do 2 more, and then we'll get into announcements and haunting Adeline. All right, so when did you know your relationship was over? When she called to tell me that she'd hooked up with someone randomly out clubbing. Yep. Honestly, your relationship was over the moment she started going out clubbing. I'm just going to be straight with you, man. I always say it. If your girl is going out to the club or she's going out into places where there is a potential and to meet other people in that kind of setting, then yeah, man, the relationship's over. She's looking for new in the comfort of a relationship. That's really what it is. She's looking for some new in the comfort of the relationship. Because you got to understand, no girl wants to go to the club when she got a man at home. She's going to want to spend time with her man. You know what I mean? She's like, fuck the club, man. I got a man. Yeah, and if I'm being honest with you, that's really how it is. That's how a lot of girls look at it. They like, why am I going to go to the club? Like, my fun's right here. You know, I'm going to go do something with my man. We're going to watch a movie. We're going to go eat some ice cream. We're going to, you know, I'm going to have that nigga take me out and go do something. Like if your girl really loves you, she's going to want to spend all her time with you. That's just the way it is. You know what I mean? She ain't gonna care about the club. She ain't gonna be like that. And then if she does go out with her friends, it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna go get a lunch, or oh, we're gonna go hiking, or we're gonna go do this, do that. She's not gonna be putting herself in precarious positions to possibly meet other men, you know, or put herself in a setting where that typically happens. Because you gotta understand, guys don't go to the club to have fun. Guys go to the club to meet bitches. Let's be straight. So it's like if you in the club, you're pretty much saying, hey, I'm here to like, sure, you could say I'm here to have fun, but if I'm being honest with you, it's like, dude, you're going to get hit on. Dudes are going to try to buy you shit. They're going to try to do shit. It's like, why even put yourself in that position for it to potentially happen? Even if it doesn't, it's the potentialness of it. It's like, why? You know what I mean? It's like, come on, man. So, yeah, dude, the moment your girl was like, I want to go to the club, yeah, it was over. It was over. All right, this is our last one. When did you know your relationship was over? When we were both flirting with other people at friends' weddings in front of each other. That's crazy. That's wild. You guys' relationship was so fucking over. It was so over. You guys were flirting in front of each other to other people. That's crazy. What? Flirting with other people in front of each other is crazy. What the fuck? They were probably just like, oh yeah, that's my sister. Oh no, that's my brother. Like, bro. Cause I mean, obviously, you know, y'all drove in the same car here. Y'all came in together. So, you know, this girl's hitting on me, whatever. I'm like, didn't you come in with that dude? Oh, that's my brother. Oh, okay, for sure. I would believe it because that's what she's telling me. Yeah. Crazy. Wow. All right, man. That's going to go ahead and be the end of that thread, dude. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that thread. Wow, that's a loaded thread, man. I'm so glad you guys got in there and shared your craziness in your relationships. Oh man, relationships, they are something else. They are definitely something else, man. It's to a point where, like, if I'm being honest with you, I just feel like when it comes to relationships, they just don't work anymore. They just don't work anymore, man. You know, it sucks to say it and it sucks to feel that way. They just don't fucking work anymore, man. Golly. Hey, it is what it is. But I'm going to hop through announcements and then we'll get on to Haunting Adeline. So, patreon.com/MyTheAsshole Podcast. Get an exclusive episode every single Friday. Tomorrow, we're going to have our free Patreon Day episode. So, do not miss that. Check that episode out. I will have an audio version on YouTube, and then obviously I'll have the audio version on Spotify for you guys as well, for you audio listeners. And then if you want to watch the video version, well, guess what? I got that bitch on Patreon. And you can watch the video version on Patreon for free. All the free episodes, you can watch them for free on Patreon. So you can also subscribe to the Patreon for free, just for the free episodes. I always have a free tier, so that way people who just are there for the free episodes can enjoy the free episodes. And then later on, if you want to pay the $3, you get access to every episode. So that $3 gives you access to every fucking episode. It's not tiered. You know, where like, oh, I paid $3 and I get a little bit of episodes. Nah, it's nothing like that. You pay the $3, you get access to every fucking episode that's on there. So I just give you guys the free episodes as a bit of a taster, a bit of a teaser. You know what I mean? The first little sample of crack is on you, boy. But yeah, so don't miss that tomorrow. If you're an audio listener, keep downloading the podcast. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate all of the support you guys have been showing. I really, really do. I love it all. I love seeing the numbers go up. I love seeing the support and seeing you guys come back every single week for Haunting Adeline, for a Tuesday episode, Sunday episode, whatever the case may be, whatever your cup of tea is on this platform. I'm glad that you guys are coming back. I do appreciate that. Rate us 5 stars on whatever platform that it is you are on. And follow us on TikTok, Instagram, as well as YouTube. And then every Monday, catch your boy streaming 5 p.m., all right? So I've been getting some comments. You know, you guys are like, hey, I didn't get to catch you live last time. I want to catch you live, blah, blah, blah. Again, 5 p.m. Monday, all right? Every single Monday. 5 p.m. I got you. We're going to be streaming. I'm going to be just playing a random game. So just get in the chat, start chatting your boy up, and, you know, we can have a conversation, whatever the case may be. I'll pause the game just to talk to you. You know what I mean? The game is just a background, if I'm being honest with you. You know what I mean? It's just a background thing. My goal in streaming is to talk to you guys. So, you know, definitely. Like, I had some cool conversations on our last stream. You know, a guy was asking me about like my monitor and computer specs and stuff like that. You know, we got a couple of haters in there. I was like, oh, you know, fuck you, nigga. But yeah, man, just come in, chat with me. You know, again, 5 p.m. Monday. So get in there, man. All right. Without further ado, though, let's go ahead and get into Haunting Adeline chapters 35 and 36.
Chapter 35. The Hunter. Usually when I finish murdering someone, I feel all the tension released from my body. It can be an aphrodisiac sometimes. It's so rare not to be strung tight that when my muscles are loose and languid, it's fucking orgasmic. Another reason why I'm addicted to Addie and all the ways I melt beneath her fingertips. But this time I'm just fucking annoyed. Sibby did what she always does and took shit a step too far. She decided it would be fun to play fucking frisbee with body parts or some shit, so we spent an hour alone trying to locate every piece of Francesca's so we could bury them. By the time I picked up all 10 of her fingers, I didn't fucking care anymore. Didn't help that Sibby decided to have an imaginary orgy directly after, forcing Addie and I to leave until she finished. Literally. And of course, during the 2 hours it took to dig and bury the bodies, she felt inclined to tell me every sordid detail of what her henchmen did to her. Or rather what she did to herself. I let her talk and tuned out the parts I didn't care to hear. Sibby's never had real friends before, and despite how badly I don't want to hear how she got railed up the ass, I refuse to set an example of friendship by silencing her. Sighing, I tiredly make my way up the steps, my movements heavy and lethargic. I'm covered in dirt and blood, and probably a few other things I don't care to know. When I trudge into Addie's bedroom, I find steam spilling from the depths of her bathroom. I roll my head back, immediately overcome with images of her standing beneath the shower head, water sluicing down her naked curves. My cock hardens instantly, the tension in my muscles bracketing my muscles into stone. Pushing the door open gently, I'm surprised to see her standing in front of the vanity mirror, eyes tracing her bare skin. There's a frown pulling down her lips, and she stares at her reflection with a mixture of abhorrence and curiosity. She tenses, hearing my intrusion, yet she doesn't take her eyes off of herself. She's completely naked, and the sight nearly sends me to my knees, both in worship and sorrow. 2 long, jagged scars slice across her back. The sight of them makes me viscerally angry, and it reignites my desire to kill the man who caused them. I vividly remember watching Dr. Garrison stitch those wounds through the camera footage. Learning to accept my own scars was a process, and one I faced alone, but Addie will never face anything alone again. Soon I'll trace my tongue across each one and show her that she's still beautiful with or without them. Scars only serve as reminders of what we've survived, not what killed us. Blood and dirt coat her pale skin, flaking from her body and onto the heated rock floor. She runs her hand across her flat stomach, drawing my eyes to her fingers. Slowly I move closer until what she's doing becomes clearer. Like plucking a string on a guitar, her nails claw at a tiny white scar.
I had hoped these would fade.
she murmurs, keeping her voice low in an attempt to hide the wobble.
They're more tragic when it's another carving sorrowful memories into your skin.
She flicks her gaze to me.
I hate them.
I grit my teeth, fury building in my chest. I would have loved to have killed Xavier myself, take my time with him as I did with Max, but it wasn't my revenge to take, though the satisfaction of getting her off before him is something I'll cherish.
Every time I look at them, I think of him.
She continues in a hushed tone.
I don't want to look at my body and see anyone else but me and you.
I stay silent and pull my hoodie and t-shirt over my head in one go. She doesn't even glance my way, too lost in the memories that gave her those scars. Do they still hurt, baby? I ask, unfastening my belt and jeans before removing those too. By the time she answers, I've completely undressed.
Sometimes,
she whispers.
Sometimes they burn, as if the blade never stopped cutting through my skin.
I hum in response, the anger continuing to rise in my chest. Just like water boiling in a pot, it'll bubble over until everything I touch burns with me.
Sometimes.
She starts again, her voice raspy.
I wonder how you could still possibly want me.
I meet her stare through the mirror as I approach her from behind. That plump bottom lip finds its way between her teeth, and fear flashes in her caramel eyes. It reminds me of those moments when I was a stranger, and she was an obsession I only knew from afar. So many times that same look crossed her eyes when she saw my roses, or when I stood outside her window. Even more so when she was wriggling beneath my hands, arching into my touch while begging me to go. It satisfied the dark part inside me reserved only for the woman standing in front of a mirror wondering how strong she really is. I craved her beyond good intentions, morals, and doing what's right. I wanted her so badly I threw away those things to make her mine. And if she thinks a dark mind and scars marring her flesh would deter me, she still doesn't grasp how deeply I long for her. I press into her back, the heat of our bodies transferring into one another. She feels like a slice of heaven I'll never have the honor of seeing, but I've always preferred to find paradise in the depths of Addie's body. My hand slides up the column of her throat, encouraging her to tip her head back against my shoulder, mouth parted. I've followed you through lifetimes, Adeline. My soul needs you so badly that I've become a shadow destined to hunt you for eternity. Her eyes flutter, and a little moan slips free, nearly writhing from the promise of haunting her soul. She was fucking made for me. If you think scars are going to turn me away, then you haven't seen just how cruel I can be, I rasp. Her breath hitches and those caramel orbs round, flashing with trepidation as they focus on me. Her pulse thrums wildly beneath my hand, and I want to sink my fucking teeth into it so I can taste how much I scare her. I snarl, letting the blackness in my soul bleed out and pour onto her skin, staining any innocence she had left. Those men took that from me, and I'll be damned if I let them have any more of her. With my free hand I knock away hers and trace the scar she's picking at, earning a little gasp from her throat. These will become mine too. I will put a blade to every single one and claim them as my own. The only thing you'll see when you look at them is me, I growl, my hand flexing around her throat.
You wouldn't.
She breathes, challenge sparking in her irises. I grin wickedly, delighting in the sight of her fear deepening, just as her nipples tighten and her arousal permeates the steamy air. That's it, I whisper, right before I tighten my hold until her air supply cuts off. Fear me, little mouse, not the sick fucks who have no right over any part of you. Then my other fist flies out, cracking the mirror. She flinches in my grasp, her nails scoring into my flesh as I pick a piece of glass out and present it to her. Relaxing my grip, she greedily sucks in oxygen while keeping her eyes pinned to the shard of glass. She's trembling, and I roll my hips into her pert ass, groaning when she only shakes harder. Point me to the first one, I order. I'm giving her a choice. I may be scaring her blind, but she knows how to get out of my hold. She knows how to turn the weapon on me instead. She knows how to fucking fight me. Sucking in an uneven breath, she points her finger to her stomach. Deliberately, I move my hand to the spot, watching her closely through the broken mirror. Her gaze is locked on the glass, inhaling sharply when I press it into her skin directly over the scar. I pause, giving her one last chance to back down, but she turns her lips to my neck, her hot breath fanning across my skin. So I press the shard into her old scar, snarling when she opens her mouth and clamps her teeth onto my throat, biting down without restraint. It's over as soon as it began, and she releases me instantly, chest heaving. It's not deep, just enough to draw blood. Blackness licks at the edges of my vision as I succumb to the beast inside me. Next one. I hardly recognize my own voice, but it's one she trusts because she peeks through the mirror and points to another on her hip. Again, I slice while she bites, over and over until her front side is covered in cuts, and she's shaking. Then I spin her around and lift her on the sink, cradling her to my chest while I slice over scars on her back until she's stained with blood and my neck and shoulders are imprinted with bite marks. We're both breathing heavily, brimming with lust, agony, and a restlessness that puts us both on edge. She's trembling beneath my hands and her eyes are like glazed caramel apples, high off the endorphins rushing through her system. I drop the glass, rubbing each thumb over a wound, intoxicated by the sharp hiss from between her teeth. Does anything about the way I love you feel tragic? I ask, brushing my lips across her jaw.
Yes.
She whimpers.
But only because one day it will end.
A growl rips from my throat and I fist her hair, tipping her head back and forcing her to see the truth. You and I will never end, little mouse. Even when we're 6 feet under and our bones are dust, I will haunt your soul until it aches to be free of me, and then I will hold you tighter. Her lip trembles, fighting against my grip on her hair in order to press herself against me, her hardened nipples brushing against my chest.
I don't ever want to be free of you, Zaid. Not in this lifetime, and not in all the ones that come after.
She grabs either side of my face and crushes her lips onto mine, her nails scraping against the stubble on my cheeks. She holds on to me like she's falling, but I have no interest in catching her. I will always fall with her, chasing after her even in death. Her legs lock around my hips, so I pick her up, my hands sliding against her slick skin, and carry her to the clawfoot tub. She pulls away just an inch, her teeth chattering and drawing out a grin from me. She's grinding her pussy against my length, slipping and sliding from how fucking soaked she is. Carefully, I step into the tub and lower us in it, crimson dyeing the porcelain with smeared fingerprints and fresh droplets. Baring my teeth, I groan when she undulates against my cock, threatening to tear my sanity out of my head like a monster does a heart in a cheesy horror film. Before I completely lose it, I reach forward and grab the handheld shower head that rests by the faucet. Then I turn the hot water on full blast, playing with the temperature until it's comfortable.
Zaid.
She pleads, lost in delirium. Addie was only ever shown pain with a knife, and now she's experiencing just how cataclysmic it can be when done right. From now on, the only knife she'll ever fall prey to is mine, and she'll fucking beg me for it. I switched the water to the shower head before leaning back and spraying it over her body. She hisses, tipping her head back and continuing to move her hips in slow movements. Her husky moans fill the space, bouncing off stone and porcelain and sticking to me like hot wax. Red-tinted blood streams over her curves before swirling down the drain. I turn the water to myself next and rid myself of the blood and grime from today's activity. By the time I finish, I find her staring down at me, a heat in her eyes that robs me of breath. Look at your new scars, I demand sharply. It takes a few beats before she drags her gaze from mine and down to her body. The wounds are still bleeding, the hot water not allowing the blood to clot. What do you see? Sliding a hand across that same scar on her stomach, she exhales shakily.
You.
I lean up, curling my finger beneath her chin and raising her eyes back to mine. Someday soon, little mouse, you will not be able to see anything else. I will be the only villain in your story and the only one who has the power to make you scream. The moment the last word leaves my tongue, I turn the shower head towards her pussy, the powerful spray directly on her clit. She jolts, a gasp quickly transforming into a cry. Her hands grasp either side of the tub, and once more her head falls back. But this time, she screams, just as I said she would. That's it, baby, you're so fucking beautiful when you cry for me. I bite out, gritting my teeth as she uncontrollably bucks against me. I lean up and curl an arm around her waist, pleasure building in the base of my spine too quickly. I lift her off of me just an inch, but she hardly notices.
Oh my God, Zaid.
She cries. I capture her nipple in my mouth, swirling my tongue over the peak before biting down. Her moans grow sharper, and her claws score across my shoulders. Blood continues to stream from her wounds, painting her body in red. An angel of death is what she is, kneeling above me with blood on her hands that will never wash away. She's absolute perfection, and I will never get tired of showing her just how much I fucking worship her. I move the shower head away, and this time when she screams, it's from frustration. Her nails bite into my skin, creating angry crescent moons. I grit my teeth, the pain morphing into intense pleasure. How do you get what you want, Adeline? I snap. Pray to God, and only then will I let you come all over my cock.
Please, Zaid, please.
She begs desperately, breathlessly. I shake my head denying her. Please what, baby? I can't answer your prayers if I don't know what they are.
Let me come.
She breathes.
Please let me come.
Such a good girl, I murmur, moving the spray back to her clit. Her eyes roll, and within moments she's collapsing against me, grinding on my cock, and exploding all over me while I continue to batter her clit with the spray. She chants my name like it's a Hail Mary, and the only way she'll be forgiven. She pushes my hand away when it becomes too much, relieving herself of the water. I lean forward and tap the lever, so it switches back to the faucet. Dropping the shower head, I sit back again, not bothering to plug the drain. She's panting, still, the aftershocks rolling through her and causing her to twitch over me like a malfunctioning robot. Her pussy is hovering mere inches above my cock, and I'm nearly blind with the need to sink myself so deep inside her I come out of the other end. I could do it so fucking easily, especially while she's still recovering. The urge to hurt, to damage and cause pain, to bend and break, it's always going to be there. I will always want to rip Addie to shreds for my own sick enjoyment, but that doesn't negate my need to protect her, to treasure and hold on to her like she's the plastic rose my mother gave me. I'm so fucking in love with her, and while my love is brutal and ruthless, it's also nurturing. Choosing when to be kind and when to let go will always be an uphill fucking battle. And this is one of those moments where I need to tame the beast, as much as it makes my dick want to fall off from pain. Addie turns her eyes to me, peeking at me almost shyly beneath her thick lashes. The ends of her damp hair are plastered to her wet body, molding around her round tits and over her ribs. Water droplets slowly trail down every part of her, and I can't decide which one to lick first. Fuck. I really, really don't want to be kind right now. I want to put the devil to shame. Turn around, I tell her, voice tight and hoarse. She slowly shakes her head, then lowers herself on the ridge of my cock, forcing it to lie flat against my stomach. Then she begins to slide up and down my length, enveloping me in her wet heat. A growl rips from my throat, and my hips jerk up as a threat. Don't fucking test me, Adeline.
You won't fuck me.
She drawls, her pink lips curling into a smile. Don't be so sure of that. I can do a lot of things, but resisting your sweet little pussy is hardly one of them.
You know I wouldn't forgive you.
She says, a wicked glint in her eye. Snarling, I seize her by the throat and bring her in close. Your hatred has always tasted like heaven, little mouse. If I have to spend the rest of my life on my knees, then I will use my mouth for more than just begging for your forgiveness. I grin sinisterly, and her breath hitches. By the time I'm done, you'll be kneeling beside me. She shakes her head, refusing to back down. The little wench rolls her hips, gliding her pussy up to the tip, then down to the base again, drawing my balls up tight. Her eyes flutter as she rubs her clit against me, uncaring how precariously her life hangs over the knife.
Just stay like this,
she whispers, repeating the motion again and again until I'm close to snapping her neck like a goddamn toothpick. My nerve endings ignite, and my body goes numb with pleasure. I'm no more conscious of how tightly I'm squeezing her neck than I am of life outside of the girl grinding against me. I'll die if she stops, but there's every chance she'll die before I can finish. It's taking everything in me to keep my hips still. Her little hand wraps around my wrist, and it's then I notice that every vein in my body is protruding from my skin. Forcefully, she pushes my shoulders back until I'm slamming into the back of the porcelain tub, ripping my hand from her throat. She sucks in a deep breath but doesn't stop gyrating against me. My hands move to her round hips, and there's no stopping me from jerking her further against me, taking over her grinding and setting a pace of my own. Pleasure is pooling in the base of my spine, and I feel every muscle in my body tighten as I draw closer to release. It's when I'm lost to pleasure that I'm overpowered easily. She lifts up on her knees, away from my pulsating cock, and just when I was getting ready to explode. Instantly, I'm overcome with frustration I've never felt in my life. I swear to fucking God, Adeline, if you don't sit back down right fucking now. She slaps her hand over my mouth, and she might as well have stuck a lightning rod up my ass. I'm so goddamn shocked.
Shh, baby,
she whispers, a slight grin curling her lips. Fuck her. She wins. And she already knows this, moving to wrap her hand around the base of my dick and point it upward. All words die on my tongue, completely forgotten as she gently lowers herself until the tip is breaching her entrance. Her voice shakes as she says,
I'm in control, Zaid. Not you. Me.
She drops her hand, her eyes pinned to me. A raging fire so hot, they look like liquid pools of whiskey. My fucking favorite. I clench my teeth, the fragile bones in my gums threatening to crumble as she lowers herself further until her tight heat consumes the tip of my cock. The side of my fist cracks into the tub, nearly unhinged from how incredible she feels. Fuck. Addie. Leaning forward, she plants both hands low on my hips, pressing down firmly. Her arms push her breasts together, and if I weren't so close to erupting, I'd have them between my teeth.
Don't move,
she sighs, breathless and raspy with desire. I can feel the flames shooting from my eyes as I glare at her. I'm hardened steel and could shatter diamonds across my dick, but my control has always been non-existent with her. This is the worst torture a man can endure, yet I will gladly suffer through it if it means getting even an inch of her wrapped around me. Don't let that control slip from your fingers, because if it does, I will be responsible for every one of my actions. I'll fuck you so deeply you'll be crying for me to stop. And I won't, Adeline. You'll have to fucking kill me before that happens, and I will die without a shred of remorse. They always say eyes are windows to the soul, and fuck if it isn't true, because I can see the fear invading her body. Yet she still gets off on it, just as much as she used to when I was only a shadow in the night. Her pussy clenches, and I feel her arousal leaking down my length, drawing out a deep, guttural growl from my chest. Hot water pools mid-level to my thighs, sloshing when she readjusts to balance herself better. I hiss when she circles her hips, her nails biting into my sides. Harder, I bark. I need the pain to ground me. I need it to keep me sane. If I feel nothing else but her, I'll lose it completely. Dig your nails harder. She listens, and I shudder from the sharp pin pricks. It's just enough to keep me from spilling inside her. Ever so slightly, she bounces her ass, her movements scarce and hardly allowing her pussy to swallow more than an inch of me, yet it sends my eyes rolling. One of her hands moves to wrap around the base of my cock, but I stop her. If she touches me, I'm done for. I circle my finger and thumb around the base to stabilize it, and then use my other hand to rub her clit in tight circles. She's not taking nearly enough of me to get off on. Even then, she needs stimulation most of the time. A long, uneven moan fans across my chest. Fuck, I need to feel this pussy. I need to feel it wrapped around all of me. Every part of you is mine, little mouse, and you will never feel whole again without me inside you.
This is as far as I can go right now, Zaid. I can't do more,
she says, nearly pleading for me to understand. Take as much as you can handle, baby. Give me all your pain. With her hand back on my hip alongside the other, she digs her nails in again. I groan through gritted teeth, bliss clouding my vision. There's still so much of me left, but I won't force her to take more. You're doing so good, baby, and you look so fucking pretty. I can't wait to see how you'll look when you take all of me. Her teeth chatter again, a moan slipping free. So fucking proud of you, I mutter, intoxicated by the sight of her sweet pussy suspended above me, even when she's allowing so little of me inside her.
Zaid,
she pleads, voice hoarse. I've missed watching you soak my cock, I rasp, biting my lip to hold back another moan. She shudders from my words, rivulets of her arousal trailing down to my fingers, wrapped around my dick. I circle her clit faster, eliciting a bone-rattling shiver from her. I've missed how tightly your pussy clenches around me, how you mold so easily around me. She nods her head, lost to the pleasure as I am. Her eyes drift shut while her rhythm becomes choppy, shifting her focus to grinding against my hand. It's not enough, is it? I breathe, watching her brows pinch. She bites her lip, and even with her eyes shut, I know she's struggling with herself, fighting the instinct to seat herself completely down. She wants to. Fuck, I can see how much she wants to. Still, she resists. You need more of me, but you won't let yourself have it, so you'll have to settle for my cum filling you up instead. Her mouth parts, a husky moan rolling off her tongue and down my spine. I can feel her right on the edge, desperate to throw herself off. You have 5 seconds, Adeline, or I will fuck you anyway. That spark of fear is enough to send her diving off the cliff. She breaks, her thighs shuddering and eyes squeezing shut. A hoarse shout echoes throughout the bathroom, but I couldn't say who it belongs to. I quickly follow her over the edge, lightning shooting down my spine and robbing me of all sense. She clamps around me so tightly it nearly hinders the ropes of cum overflowing from my dick. If this is what heaven feels like, I'm only sorry I've done nothing to deserve it. An impossible amount of time passes before we both collapse out of breath and ridden with electric currents. Her cheeks rest against my chest, wet strands of hair draping across my skin like drizzled chocolate, and I just know she can feel my racing heartbeat ricocheting between her teeth. My fingers dive through her tangled tresses, and I wrap my other arm tightly around her. For several minutes we just lay like this, catching our breaths and losing it all over again with every touch. Eventually I coax her to turn around. She hugs her knees, while I squeeze shampoo in my hands and meticulously wash her hair, soothing any lingering tension in her muscles. I tell her about the first person I killed, and she tells me about hers. A girl named Phoebe who helped save Eddie's life, only to be forced to take hers in return. She cries while speaking of the girl with flaming orange hair and the fear she carried in her bones except when it really mattered. In the end, she embodied the flames that hung around her shoulders. I rinse the soap out, her tears following the suds down the drain while she mourns, her head bowed with grief. Then I carry her out of the tub and set her on the counter. Holding her mouth open as I brush her teeth, I kiss away every tear and remind her that she will always carry Phoebe with her, and those flames are now hers, too.
Chapter 36. The Diamond. Xavier's disappearance made national news. Daya tells me over the phone. Do they have any idea who did it? I ask, massaging the muscle in my shoulder. My entire body aches from the training session with Sibby, and I'm damn near ready to collapse on the floor and just stay there forever. I'd make a good fertilizer, and vines of roses could grow from my rib cage while I become one with the earth again. Zaid would probably call me dramatic for thinking that. All they have to go off of is the debacle at Supple. Of course, your faces were hidden, which helps. I was wearing a wig, too, I say. They won't be able to identify you. At least, the public won't, but I'm sure Claire will know it was you two. But they can't prove it. They don't need to. She controls the entire government and all the worker bees that run it, including the police force, feds, all of them. I chew on my lip, digging at the spot on my shoulder harder. So, what, do you think Zaid's face is going to end up on the evening news? She's quiet for a beat. Or yours? My heart drops, thudding heavily in the pit of my stomach. Claire pinning the murder on me would actually be convenient. It will absolutely destroy any reputation I have as an author, but that wouldn't be the worst of it. They could press charges, fabricate evidence against me, and convict me. And I wouldn't be going to jail, but right back into Claire's hands. Fuck me. Zaid isn't going to let anything happen to you, Addie. Daya assures. Don't panic. We'll figure it out, and I'm sure this is something he would have planned for. Though she can't see me, I nod my head. It does little to calm my racing heart. Maybe I shouldn't have... Addie, don't be one of those where you're only sorry you got caught. Be sorry because it doesn't sit right in your soul, if that's truly how you feel. If I'm being honest, I feel nothing about ending Luke's life, so I guess we're both on God's shit list or whatever. Regardless, what we're doing with Claire, it's huge. Bigger than you or me, and it's going to save a lot of lives. I nod my head again, squeezing my eyes shut tightly. I know you're right. I'm not sorry for what I did. I blow out a heavy breath. I just don't know what's going to happen, and I'm scared. We're going to be okay. Remember who you have on your side. On cue, I feel a touch brush away my hand from my shoulder before replacing it with his own, digging his thumb into that persistent knot. My hand drops, and a mix of pain and pleasure erupt from where his skilled fingers work my muscles. I remember... I murmur, trapping a moan in my throat when he hits a particularly painful spot. Thank you, Daya. I'll call you later, okay? The second we hang up, I let loose a groan. I figured if Daya heard that, it might disturb her. His other hand joins the assault, drawing out more sounds of pleasure. It hurts so fucking good.
Daya break the news?
He asks quietly in a deep timbre. Yeah, I answer with a cracked voice.
Nothing
is going to happen to me. I know. I cut in. But sometimes things don't go to plan. He directs me around, and I turn with a tired sigh. His scar crinkles from his amused grin, noting the sassy look on my face.
You're going to want to tune into the news at 8 o'clock then.
My brows knit, and a frown curls my lips down. What did you do?
I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to.
He flicks my nose, and I sputter in response, slapping away his hand. His smile grows, taking over his scarred face and brightening his yin-yang eyes. Jesus, his smile is fucking dangerous. It easily stops my heart.
8 o'clock, little mouse. It'll hurt my feelings if you miss it.
You can't sit there, Addie. You'll be sitting right in Bane's lap. And he's awfully bony, so he won't be very comfortable. My ass has popped out midair, suspended over my leather couch when she stops me. Okay? I sigh, a smidge tired of avoiding my own damn furniture because Sibby's imaginary friends are sitting all over it. Can't they stand? It's not like their invisible legs are going to get tired. I straighten and Sibby gasps loudly, causing me to jump and almost drop my wine. What? I ask, alarmed, searching the couch for a spider or something. They don't scare me, but Sibby tends to morph into an even smaller child when bugs come out. I am so sorry, Addie. Bane grabbed your ass. Bane! Don't do that. Zaid is going to kill you, you know. He gets his balls in a knot when people touch her. Balls in a knot? I mutter, both confused and utterly fucking frazzled. I hike a thumb over my shoulder awkwardly when she continues to berate Bane. I'm gonna go over here, I mumble, just a little disturbed. I turn on the TV and flip to Channel 8. They're droning on about Xavier again, and I immediately break out into a sweat, waiting for my picture to pop up as a person of interest. I think if I were, the police would have already come knocking, but my anxiety gets away from me anyway. Taking a large gulp of wine, I glance at the time on my phone and note that it's 7:59 p.m. If I know Zaid, whatever he's about to pull, he'll be on time. 8 on the dot to the very second. I take another sip, rolling my eyes when Sibby's hand slides up her thigh, pushing up her black polka dot dress, and then proceeds to slap at her own hand, yelling at Mortis for trying to hit on her in front of me. She's getting better about keeping the sexual activities to herself. My heart trips over itself when the image of the reporter on TV begins to skip and then turns to static before cutting out. I gasp when a picture of a man replaces the reporter, his black hood drawn over his head, and face covered with a familiar black mask with a dramatic frown and a slash through the eye. No fucking way. Slowly, I stand, my mouth open as I near the TV.
Greetings, fellow Americans.
Zaid starts, my brows jumping when I hear how abnormally deep his voice is. He altered it.
In light of the disappearance of oil tycoon Xavier Delano, this is a message for the police force, all government officials, and, as always, the people of this country.
Zaid crosses his black gloved hands, seeming to get comfortable.
Xavier Delano was buying young women as sex slaves from human traffickers, then murdering them when he grew bored. I have released all evidence of this online. Pictured above are several women who he bought, tortured, raped, and killed. Remember their names. I have. In honor of all the women who lost their lives to this man, I took matters into my own hands. Xavier Delano is not missing. He's dead.
Zaid leans forward and cocks his head. An eeriness pulses through the radio waves emitting from the screen. Raw danger radiates throughout my bones when I look into the bottomless holes where his eyes are hidden. I shiver, delighting in the feel of it.
He is not the first to suffer the consequences of his actions, and he will not be the last. I am Z, and I am watching. No one is safe, especially not those who have betrayed me.
His video disappears, cutting back to the news reporter's pale, slackened face. A loud crunch snaps me out of the hypnotizing effect I'd gotten lost in. I whip my head towards Sibby to see her shoving a handful of popcorn in her mouth. She must feel my stare because she stops mid-chew, her cheeks puffed out, and looks at me with wide, innocent eyes. What? He took responsibility for it all, I say, dazed. Sibby blinks, appearing confused. Well, of course he did. I mean, he wasn't entirely lying, but Zaid would do anything to protect you. She cocks her head. Did you honestly doubt him? My mouth parts. I guess I just wasn't expecting that. Sibby shrugs, scarcely swallowing the first mouthful before she's stuffing her face again. It was smart. It was. No one is going to believe a city girl who is also a popular and well-respected author murdered Xavier over Z. They would look stupid if they tried to blame me still. Plus, everyone knows I'm a victim of sex trafficking. They could try to spin it that I sought revenge, but then they'd have to deal with the added stress of Zaid leading an absolute riot over a survivor being wrongfully convicted. Not to mention that Zaid would quite literally never let them just cart me away to jail. He'd put me into hiding and take the blame for that too, and once again, the people would be rooting for Zaid over the government, which is the last thing Claire wants. Shit. Zaid really did fuck up any plans Claire might have had, and all to protect me. Oh! Sibby shouts, causing me to jump again. You should write a book about it. Your readers would swoon over the big scary guy coming to your rescue and then murdering your abuser. She's not wrong. Even I'm swooning. But I've been too mentally drained to write. I scrounge up the energy to post little updates every so often before dipping out again, too exhausted to even read the comments. My personal assistant has been intercepting all messages and questions until I'm ready to get back into my career again. I don't think I'll be able to truly focus on writing until Claire is dead. Did it bother you that he took the credit? Sibby asks, misinterpreting my silence. I laugh. I don't care about the glory. Then why are you so tense? Because my blood has turned into liquid lava? God help me if Sibby is in the vicinity when I see Zaid, because I'm not sure I'll be able to stop myself from tackling him. And Lord knows the weird little doll wouldn't willingly leave the room. A plethora of emotions are running rampant in my body, and at the very forefront of it all is my need to thank him. And there are so many fucking ways I want to thank him. Seeing him on screen with his deep voice and black mask, putting himself under fire to protect me, all I could think about was how much I love him. And how badly I need to show him that, how badly I need to tell him that. Zaid will suffer little to no consequences for killing Xavier. At least, not from the public. He doesn't need the support of the people to keep doing what he's doing. It's just something Z has always had regardless. And whether people choose to shift their alliances because he took a predator off the streets, it won't matter. In the grand scheme of sacrifices Zaid has made for me, it wasn't really much of one. Yet it means the world to me anyway. What we're doing is so much bigger than writing books, but it still would have devastated me to lose a career I love so much. It would have felt like losing yet another piece of myself, and I already have so little to spare. Oh, Sibby says softly, realization dawning. You want to fuck him. I understand now. My cheeks burn, but I don't deny it. Because she's right. My thighs are clenched tight, and that familiar heady feeling is swirling deep in my stomach. I won't lie and say that watching him just now didn't turn me on. My blood is on fire, and I'm nearly vibrating with desire. It was fucking hot. What else can I say? Sibby groans, sitting up with a pouty look. Why do you guys get to have loud sex and I can't? I turn to her, eyes wide and an expression that says, Are you shitting me right now? Because you try to do it in front of everyone, Sibby. She slams her back into the couch with a huff, shoving a sorrowful handful of popcorn into her mouth. Not my fault you guys are boring. I roll my eyes. Zaid and I are many things, but boring is not one of them. June 5th, 2022. I've never told a man that I love them. Never. Because I hate fucking doing it. Never mind that I've never actually been in love with anyone before Zaid. But even in high school, when that puppy love stage hits with boyfriends, you know, where you think you love them, but you don't even know what love is, something always held me back. I still don't want to say it, but only because I'm scared. There's this, build-up, I guess. And I don't even know why. I know how Zaid feels about me. I've known how he felt about me since the first note he left me. Yet I'm sweating like a goddamn gym rat anyway. Maybe it's because I don't know how to say it. Fuck, that's so it. Do I just pop out with it when he walks through the door? Or kiss him first? Do I give him a speech? Fuck that. Fuck this. I'm just gonna say it when he's least expecting it. Then run the fuck away.
All right. Well, that has been Haunting Adeline, chapters 35 and 36. Woo! Man, we had a bit of a spicy episode, or chapter in the beginning. Man, I was like, okay. And then we had a little more tame chapter after that. Hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Next week, again, we'll see if she tells Zaid, I guess she loves him. I'm like, okay. I didn't know that this was a conflict. I thought she'd be able to, have some feelings. Like, let's be an adult, Adeline. God damn it. But again, tomorrow we have the March free Patreon episode. So again, check that out for tomorrow. And we'll have a Sunday episode streaming on Monday. And yeah, what is it? Oh my goodness. Patreon.com/MyTheAsshole Keep downloading the podcast. Rating us 5 stars. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, as well as the YouTube. And that'll be it for you, boy. I'll see you guys tomorrow. And yeah, peace and chicken grease.